Hello guys, in this video I'm going to do a summary of the most used pathways to migrate to Australia for those that are living offshore or for those that are living overseas. I did a similar video sometime last year and you guys keep asking, so I just thought to switch on my camera and do an updated video for you guys. If this sounds like something you would like to learn, then please do not go anywhere, stick around and let's get right into the video. Before we get into the video, just know that I'm not a migration agent, so please use any advice in this video as general advice only. Let's get right into it. Okay, so before we get into the video, just know that you get a lot of information on the homeaffairs.gov.au website. So if you want to learn about Australia, you want to learn about anything to get to migrating to Australia, then the homeaffairs.gov.au website is the place for you. If you want citizenship, they've got all the documents here. If you want visas, they've got all the documents here. If you want to travel to Australia, they've got all the documents here. If you want the latest skilled occupation list, they have everything here. So I highly recommend you guys come to the homeaffairs.gov.au website and do further deep dive. So one of the most used pathways to migrate to Australia is by using the visitor's visa or the tourist visa subclass 600. So with this visa, they've got other streams. Okay, so under this visa, they have the tourist stream, they have the business visitor stream, the sponsored family stream, and the approved destination status stream. So under the tourist stream, this is basically for individuals visiting Australia for tourism or to visit family and friends in Australia. Under the business visitor stream, this is basically for individuals traveling to Australia for a short business trip or to attend conference, seminars, and the rest. For the sponsored family stream, this is for people that have got families in Australia. So for individuals sponsored by an eligible relative or visit family in Australia. So this basically means your family in Australia will also have to put in an application that they'll sponsor you or you'll be living with them when you visit Australia. And we have the approved destination status stream. So this is for individuals for certain countries traveling to an organized tour group. So yes, most people travel to Australia under visa subclass 600, which is the tourist or visitors visa. One of the other most used visa pathways to Australia is the student visa pathway, student visa subclass 500. So this visa allows international students to study full-time in a registered educational institute in Australia. And under the student visa, we have the higher education sector. So for students enrolled in bachelor's, master's or PhD degree programs, we have the VET or the vocational education and training sectors for students enrolled in vocational education and training courses, or for students that wants to come and learn English, which is the ELICOS, English Language Intensive Course for overseas students, for students undertaking English language courses. So if you meet any of these criteria, then you will be granted a student visa subclass 500. Once you finish your undergraduate degree or you finish your studies in Australia, if eligible, you'll be granted the visa subclass 485, which is the temporary graduate visa or the post-study work stream visa subclass 485. Most people use the student visa pathway to migrate to Australia, again, if you are only eligible. Now, the other most used pathway is the skilled migration pathway. So this is basically for individuals that are coming to work in sectors that are in high demand in Australia. So when it comes to the skilled migration pathways too, we have three main streams. So we have the skilled independent visa subclass 189. This is for skilled workers not sponsored by an employer, a state or territory or family member. We also have the skilled nominated visa, so visa subclass 190. This is for skilled workers nominated by state or territory government. We have the skilled work regional provisional, so visa subclass 491. This is for skilled workers nominated by the state or territory government or sponsored by an eligible family member to live and work in a regional Australia. So when it comes to skilled migration, this basically means that Australia got something called a skills occupation list, and on this list they have occupations that are in high demand in Australia. So if you have the skill set in any of these occupations, then what you basically have to do is you need to get your skills assessment done. So skills assessment is basically bodies in Australia that will assess your skills and they'll make sure your skills meet the criteria set in Australia. If you meet this criteria, Australia also got something called the point testing scheme. They'll basically test your English language skills, your age, how many experience you have, if you are married and the rest. Yep, so they'll sum up all this, and this is what we basically call the point testing scheme. If you have a high point, let's say if you have points that accumulates to be 65 and over, then the next stage is for you to do something called expression of interest. Again, I think I've done a dedicated video in regards to this, or I'm happy to do a refresher video. Just let me know in the comment section below and I'll do this for you guys. So yes, the other most used pathway is the skilled migration pathway. Okay, so the other most used pathway to migrate to Australia is the employer sponsored migration program. Okay, so with this, is you basically looking for an employer in Australia to sponsor you to migrate to Australia. Yes, there are requirements. If required, you still have to get your skills assessment done. If required, you still need to show proof of English test score, so maybe IELTS, PTE and the rest. Also, your employer will have make sure they have their labor agreement. So what we basically mean by labor agreement is the employer is eligible to sponsor people from overseas to come and work for them. And most people also use this pathway, but again, this is not an easy pathway because there is a lot that goes into it. The employer needs to make sure they check all the boxes. You also need to make sure you have the certain skills, okay, the necessary skill set to come and work for your employer. When it comes to the streams too, they have the employer nominations scheme, which is the subclass 186. We have the temporary skills shortage visa subclass 482, which is really popular. They also have the regional sponsored migration scheme, which is subclass 187. So yes, if you want to use the employer sponsored stream, you need to first make sure you have the necessary skill sets and to also look for an employer in Australia to sponsor you so you come and work for them. The other most used pathway is the family visa pathway. Okay, so when I say family visa pathway, they have the partner visa stream, the parent visa, and also the child visa. If you have a partner that is a permanent resident or citizen living in Australia, then yes, they can sponsor you to come and live with them. If you are an Australian citizen or permanent resident and you have parents living overseas, you can apply for your parents to come and join you. If you're a permanent resident or a citizen and you've got kids that are less than 18 years old living overseas, then yes, you can apply so your kids can come and join you. Of course, you need to make sure all your relationships are genuine and continuing. And if you're a parent, you have to make sure you have the necessary rights to take care of your kids, or you have the necessary rights to get access to your kids and the rest. So again, if you meet all the requirements and the criteria, then using the family pathway, the family migration pathway to Australia can also be a bit easy, of course, if you meet all the requirements. The other one is the humanitarian visa. So this is for people that are not safe in their home country and they want to migrate to Australia so they can be safe. So humanitarian visa basically takes care of people that are not safe or that are running due to war or something bad happening in their family or something bad happening to them in their home country. So you can also use the humanitarian visa for these purposes. We also have the business and investment migration pathway. So if you have a business, a huge business in your home country and you want to migrate to Australia and invest, then yes, you can come with the visa subclass 188 and also 888. You need to show a lot of documentations when applying for these visa. I think I've basically summarized all the main pathways you can use to migrate to Australia. In case any of these pathways is of interest to you and you want me to do a deep dive, please let me know in the comment section below and I'll do justice to that for you. If you are looking at migrating to Australia to study, I can actually help you with that. Just email me on the email on the screen now or in the email address in the description section below, and I'll be there to guide and assist you. My name is Kwame Chimisi. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.